What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. This is part 2, and this is going to be pretty ongoing. This is the space in between. And what we're starting to do is explore what we call 16th notes, and these are the spaces in between of what we're actually doing with the hi-hat when we've done a lot of these basic beats of the week. So initially, we've been counting 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And we talk about the space in between, and we explored this a very little bit in the last video, space in between. We're talking about in between each of these notes, 1 and 2, and I can have space in the middle there. And obviously, I can fill any amount of space with notes, but specifically speaking, we're talking about counting it. So the way we count this is we keep the 1, the and, the 2, the and, the 3, the and the 4, and the and. But in between each of those, we add e's and we add us. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to count these e's and the us, but I'm going to click my drumsticks to keep that tempo that you're used to, the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So when I go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and in the middle of these, I'm going to count, and we're actually going to play those today. All right, here we go. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and So what we're doing is we're putting stuff in the middle of this space. So if I come back to here and I bring this on the hi-hat, that snare drum hit was in the middle of it. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and I can also, after the and, take up the space that we call 1, 2, no, mess that one up. Let's do that again. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 E and 3 and 4 E, and we'll flip that. 1 E and 2 and 3 E and 4 and So what we're really starting to do is explore between the space here. We're going to add the snare drum in. And eventually, as this series goes on and we start to add to basic beats of the week, we're going to do the same thing with the bass drum. So last time I introduced 2 basic exercises. We're going to expand on that just a little bit. So this exercise we're going to start with is actually part of what I was just playing. And we're going to play, it's called 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and we're doing between each quarter note, each number, and its proper and, we're adding an E. And we're going to play that on the snare drum. And that sounds like this. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and as I'm doing this, I can also call out my rights and lefts to help me figure out which I'm playing on which. And just like we've been doing with the constant, which obviously we're going to stray away from a little bit because we're not being constant anymore, is I'm going to say right because my right will be on the hi-hat, and I'm going to say left because my left will be on the hi-hat. I'm sorry, my left will be on the snare drum. So here we go. Right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right. All right? So I'm going to do that exercise again, and actually now I'm going to add the second time. I'm going to add my bass drum in. I'm going to add them on the quarter notes or on the numbers. So that sounds like this. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and. Now I can play that snare drum, that dynamic, at any level I want. It can be loud, or I can play it soft. But what we're focusing on now is not necessarily how hard or soft we're playing it, but just getting it right in the middle, the space in between the hi-hat. So here what I'm going to do next now is my third exercise. My first exercise would have been 1 E and then I get the bass drum for the second exercise, 1 E and continuing. Now my third exercise, I'm going to do the space in between, as I showed this a couple minutes ago, in between the ands and then the next quarter notes of the next numbers. So that one sounds like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and continuing that. Again, I can call it right, right, left, right, right, left. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and now I count. Now I am talking obviously here about rights and lefts and helping you work through that, but counting is absolutely essential. And here's why. It actually makes everything a lot easier. Once you can start to read music and understand the concepts and count, you can figure out anything on your own. You could look at any sheet of music and you can figure out, you can coordinate everything. And while you're coordinating it, you're kind of feeling it out. It helps and builds a lot of control with that, and it helps you just be a better drummer, marketing yourself in general, and being able to pick up stuff a lot quicker. So here we go. We're gonna do that the same exercise. This will be the fourth exercise though, because we'll add the bass drum in now. So that 1 and is gonna have the bass drum under each quarter note or under each number. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and all right. Now that's it for today as far as what we're going to do with the space in between. There are 4 exercises, but really they're 2 exercises because each of those exercises without the bass drum and then with the bass drum. And that's how we turn from 2 exercises into 4 exercises. Go back, watch the video again, play them over and over again, pause after each section and go over and over and over and over and over again. And what you're going to be able to do with all these videos is you're going to go into the information section at the bottom, and you're going to have links to all of the visuals, all of the notation of what I'm playing for this and all the basic beats of the week and everything else. All right? I'll see you next time, and we'll continue exploring what we're doing is this space in between, and we'll really start to see those show up with the basic beats of the week. I'll see you next time, guys. Take care.